Using photos and images and icons can really enhance the conversation that you're having with your audience, with your students. However, unless you're really talented, drawing with a mouse or even drawing on the board with a stylus can be a little bit challenging. You can get various results depending on your artistic ability. For myself, I really like importing images and having images that I can then make annotations on. Also, if I have very complex images, if I have, say, technical diagrams, I can import them onto the whiteboard and then I can make annotations on those, erase the annotations and make more annotations. It's very, very useful. So let's say I want to put an image on the whiteboard. I'll just go to the ellipse at the bottom here and I'll go into images. And I'm presented with two options. I can upload from my computer, which I'll show you in a moment, but I can also go out and search Bing Images for all sorts of different images that I might be interested in. There's a number of different categories that they'll suggest to me, but we're going on a hiking trip, so let's type in hiking, and I can search down and see if there are any images here that I want for my hiking trip. Notice here that I've chosen Creative Commons only, so these are all images that I can use royalty free. I'll go ahead and put a clip on here and you can see that I now have an image on here. Notice also that my board goes to 50% to accommodate the size of the image. So I'm just going to shrink it down a little bit, put my board up to 100%, and then I can have this image on here. What's nice about the image is that I can then go in and I can make annotations on the image. So I can say, multi-use trail. So I can say that's a multi-use trail. I can say, sky. State the obvious in there. And when I move the image around, so if I go back to the selection, when I move the image, all of my annotations stick with the image. If I was to resize the image, so I'll grab that and notice that even outside of the image, it recognizes that that was part of my annotation on there. I can take the entire element and I can resize it. So that's very useful. Now, in an upcoming lesson, I'm going to talk about how we can prepare ourselves for using the whiteboard by downloading assets that we might want to use. I'll show you how that looks. If I go into images and I go to upload from my computer, it's going to open up my browser, my Internet Explorer, and you'll see that I actually have a folder I created called Hiking Club. And in the Hiking Club, I have a number of images, downloaded photos. I also have a number of different camping icons in here, so PNG files around camping. So let's say, for example, I want to insert this particular PNG file in there. I can put that file in there. Again, I can move the board, I can resize, I can bring the board up to 100%. So you can see I've got this icon in here, and I can put that in there. I can do whatever I'd like, and we can have all sorts of, conversations and visual appeal. If I go back into images again, I'll upload from my computer. This time when I upload from the computer, I'm going to go into my photos. So I'll go back to my Hiking Club photo where I've prepared my whiteboard conversation. I'm going to choose this photo, and you'll notice that there's an error that pops up. It's unable to insert the image because it has to be less than 10 megs in size. So if I go in, I could either resize that image, or I could go in and choose another image that isn't as large. So I'll choose this image here, and that image will be inserted. And now I have this image inserted. If I want to get rid of these images here, I can just quickly come in. I can use my lasso on there, and I can go in and delete it. Oh, I missed that one there. Just go ahead and grab it and delete it. That's something that I do quite a bit. If I need to move things around or get rid of elements, I'll just select them all, come back up to 100%. That's a little bit big, so maybe I'll come back down to 60% or so, 66%. And you can see I can always resize the banner image here, but I could make this as part of a presentation that I'm doing, and I could make this the opening whiteboard that I have. I could save this whiteboard and we could start the camping trip this way. I can do all sorts of things like put text in here. We'll have a look at sort of a more robust or planned out whiteboard experience, but you can see how easy it is to just go in, grab images of all sorts, both from Bing images that I can download, as well as from my own images that I may have downloaded and prepared in advance, and I can create really nice presentations that can excite my audience, get them involved in the presentation, and have a nice look to the presentation. However I want to organize things, I can bring out my artistic ability, make notations on here, and this is a tent. and get my audience involved in working with the whiteboard.